Hey, what's up everyone? Mendel here. I hope you are all doing awesome and wonderful. So in this video, we're gonna check out this cool little thing. So this is the Blackstar AMPED1, 100 watts amp pedal. And there's a bunch of cool stuff you can do with this thing. So let's dive right into it. Here we go. Alright, so before we take a listen, what's actually in this thing? Like I said, it's a 100 watt guitar pedal, which means there's a power section included. We have a gain knob, 3 dedicated voices called flat, USA and UK. Tone section, power wattage toggle, master volume, reverb, and the thing I'm really interested in, it has 6 different power tube emulations, which including my two favorites, the 6L6 and the EL34s. So basically you could have this on your floorboard next to your pedals or quad Cortex, Helix, unpowered Kemper, etc. and plug straight into a guitar cab. So you could even put an amp sim on your laptop, connect to this thing, and then connect straight to a cabinet. But make sure you don't put a laptop on your floorboard next to it, because you will probably step on it and break your laptop. But then again, if you've put a laptop on your floorboard and you break it, you probably deserve it, because who would put a laptop on a floorboard in the first place? So on the back, it has an input, obviously, loop return, 8 and 16 ohm speaker output, MIDI in, a USB-C port to connect it to your computer, to remote control it and create and store presets from Blackstar's Architect software, which I'll show you in a bit. And what's actually pretty clever, there are 2 9-volt ports to connect to your pedals. Love that. On its right side, we have a 3 toggle switch for assignable presets, level control, balanced XLR out, and a headphone line out. Let's make some sounds. Alright, so let's check how this thing sounds. So here we have the AMPED1. I got my lag arcane guitar plugged straight into the input. And then I'm connected, the audio is going through the balanced XLR out straight into my Apollo interface. And I got it connected through the USB-C cable that came with it into Blackstar Architect, which you can see here. And the cool thing is, so when you look at the Architect, when I change the parameters over here, it changes on the screen as well. So we have the gain knob for an example. Or let's change the middle right here. You can see it moves along, but you can also change it here. But just so you know, then there are no what's called the things that move the knobs like they have on some hardware stuff. So this won't take over. It does take over in the plugin, but you need to make sure when you save it, it won't match the settings on the physical knobs. When you turn the knobs again, then it resets and follows the knobs. But let's just start with USA voicing, because flat is mainly for when you use it with a different amp sim or in Helix, like I said before, with Cortex or anything. But it also has a preamp section built into this. So let's start with USA, have everything at noon, and let's put it on 6L6s first. So here's what it sounds like. Bright and chimey, like it, so let's take up some mids, add some treble, perhaps a bit less bass. Sounds wonderful. Really cool. So on the bottom here, as you can see, I have the speakers collection. So this is the cab rig section. So basically what you can change here all happens connected with the unit. So for an example, let's start with something simple. So the volume of the cab. There you go. I just do wish that maybe it's there. Like when you double click it, it gives you this thing, but normally with software where you press shift double click or control double click, it will like go back to 0, but now it just goes here, but so I can just press 0. Fixed as well. So let's go from the top to the bottom. So we have a master EQ section. So one thing you should notice, this EQ section is not the same as this EQ section, just so you know. So you even have more like versatility mixing wise, sort of speak. So for example, if I put these highs all the way up, then I could even brighten it even more, but that's a bit too much. But just so you know that this master EQ section is not the same as the other one. So let's build a cool tone from the get-go. Let's turn off these filters and let's go to Capt and let's select the Modern USA because we all know what that is. And let's do an SM57 microphone, which is my favorite combination. Let's start with no room. I'll just mute it here. And let's see how it sounds first. So that's, yes, that's lovely. And it feels really good, really, really good. All right, so let's do some EQ. Let's turn the high mids a bit up and let's turn these up even more. There we go. So just for fun, let's try what the room does. So let's start with a large room. And also good to know, the room is not the same as the reverb. So let's say I have the room here. I can even add more reverb or reverb to that. So when the reverb is totally off, we still have the room in here. So up to you to blend that how you wish. So this was USA. We had the flat, like DI, and now we have UK. Okay, so now that's highs could be tamed down. It's a bit too brittle. Okay, I'm actually really curious how this would sound with a boost pedal in front of it, like a Maxon. So let me grab that. Give me a second. All right, so I have the OD808 in front of it. Let's just put everything at 12. So this is without the pedal in front of it. Let's do the KD88. Right, and now with the Maxon on. Add some more gain because more is more, right, Ingwe? Right, so I like the setup, and now what I actually can do, so I'm at Capt 2, or I mean preset 2, Capt 2, so I can just press save, save patch device, so to slot 2, yes, save patch, overwrite, and it's saved. So now on the side, I can go to 1, which is just DI. Love the cat. And now when I go to Capt 2, it should, yep. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run an amp sim. I think I'll use the quad Cortex. Yeah, I'll use the quad Cortex, turn the cap off, just the amp section, and run it through through this pedal, but then see how like the amp sim, like how the sound will differ when I use different tube responses. That's I'm really curious about. So let's dive into that. All right, so I have my quad Cortex now connected to this thing. So guitar goes straight into quad Cortex. Output of quad Cortex goes straight into input of this thing. I now have the power amp tube simulation on linear, And the voicing is on flat because I don't want to use like an amp preamp into like an amp preamp again. So that's on flat. And let's put bass just on flat as well. Reverb is off. So this is basically just a quad Cortex, and the cab is turned off on the quad Cortex. So I'm using the cab of this device. So over here you can see I have DI here. So now it's like that really brittle tone. And let's just turn off these filters. So this is like really brittle, something you don't want. So let's put on Capt Modern USA first, and that will tweak it. So again, it's just a quad Cortex. It's a 5153 capture I made, and then straight into this thing. So here's how it sounds. That's actually not too bad. Let's go to the classic UK. Sounds actually pretty good as well. Let's just stick with the Modern USA. And I have like a 57, which is like in a Shure SM57 dynamic on Axis. Very punchy, very Colin Richardson in my opinion. Really bright in your face. So over here I have this master Q section that has low. Let's see what it does when we just max the lows. So this is without it. It's a bit too much, but I like where this is going. So I have it around 6 now. That's actually pretty neat. Okay, so now I'm curious what the response thing will do. So let's just start at the top. So now it's at linear again. Let's go to KT88. That's actually pretty neat. So let's try the 606. I think it's a bit too bright for this capture I made, but let's turn on the high cut. I have that 7 kHz right now. Okay, a bit too brittle for this capture. Let's try EL34s. Again, linear. EL34. Now, to be honest, I don't think tubes, like the power tubes, will make this much of a difference in real, like with real amps. But I do like where this is going. Okay, so these 6 V6s. More mids. Cool. So let's try the EL84s. This could actually work in the mix pretty well. So let's try a different amp. Let's try like something a bit more darker, like a Road King. So this is like a Road King capture I made. Let's try the KT88. Linear. It's pretty cool. So now let's try these 6L6s, which should make it brighter. Okay, that actually works really well with that amp, I think. Linear. And then muffled. 6L6. Push more forward, like let's play a lick. 6L6. EL34. 6V6. EL34s, or the EL84, sorry. No, 48. EL48. And linear. Yeah, definitely linear sounds really muffled now. So I think I'll keep it on the KT88. Oh, EL34s. Let's add some of those lows. Perhaps like around 3. So again, this is without the response. Right? EL34s. All right, really cool little unit. All right, so who's this for plus an end verdict? I think this is mainly for, well, let's say it like this. I think it could be like really fun in the studio, just like how I showed, to experiment with it, and especially tube response thing is very fun to work with. But I think the main thing would be for live, like really on your pedal board, like how I started the video. That would be, in my opinion, I think a great problem solver, especially if you have a couple of pedals, like, I don't know, perhaps like, I don't know, do guitar players still have pedals? Yes, they do, probably too many. But let's say if you have a couple, like, I don't know, an overdrive pedal or something, you could basically just put all, like, link everything into this thing and then go straight to a cab. Like, you wouldn't need like a big head and like destroy your back carrying like 30 kilograms of amp, like down flights and steps of stairs and stuff. Like, if you could be like really simple, you could have like your favorite pedals, even power through this 9-volt thing in the back, was really cool. Have everything linked, and then basically like the end of your chain, put it into this, straight to the cab, and then you could even use like the preamp of this section and then tweak it to your final likings, like how all your guitar players like to do. Tweak into infinity, like the quest for the tone never ends. But basically tweak it however you want it and then go straight to a cab. That's easy. Basically you could go to a gig and just bring your floorboard and this is your power amp. How easy is that? Would I use it in the studio? I think no, because it would take too much time, I think. I have a lot of in-the-box tones that I really like, but to be honest, for my solo album, I'm doing a new solo album. I think it would be cool to experiment with this to get a different tone, because I was really surprised how well it felt and sounded when I had my max on overdrive pedal go straight into the preamp and then, yeah, basically that tone. that was really cool. And the clean, like the USA voicing, that felt really inspiring. I even created a demo riff, which I'll not show here because it's gonna be some future song, but a riff that was very inspired actually through this pedal. So, and that's what it's all about, right? That you have a great tone and you can get inspired and you create new music with it. Isn't that like the most important thing for guitar players, that you finally have the tone you're happy with so you can start writing and playing? Looking at you, guitar players, I'm guilty of that myself as well. Anyway, I like this thing. It's great for live. Make sure you check it out. I'll put the link in the description box below. The Amped one from Blackstar. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. That's much appreciated. And see you next time. Cheers.